Hello, I'm Sarah Dixon. I'm the Marketing and Proposal Manager for Bid for Success. Bid for Success is a bid and tender consultancy that works primarily with small and medium enterprises or SMEs. And we're on a mission to help support more SMEs into bidding, and we consider ourselves to be SME champions. And this is one of a series of videos that we're making to kind of demystify the bidding process for small and medium enterprises. If you visit our YouTube channel, you'll be able to see the others. They're all compiled into a playlist, so you can start from the beginning. This video follows on from last week's, which was a guide to kind of showing you how to find what opportunities are available. That video talked you through the process of going to a portal such as the government contracts finder portal and searching for what opportunities there might be for your business. And we know that for many small businesses, when they go and do that, they're then confronted with a whole lot of jargon and weird terminology that they don't understand, and it can be really overwhelming. And it needn't be. It's one of those, bidding is one of those things where there's just a high degree of jargon. So we're going to talk you through some of that today. Just to kind of help you understand where things fit into the bid timeline, and just run through some of that jargon to help you familiarise you with that. So I'm just going to share my screen so that you can see a graphic that we put together. If you want to see this graphic fully, you can find it either on our Facebook group or our LinkedIn group. They're both called Winning Contracts Bid for Success. And obviously you can find Bid for Success also on both those platforms with company pages. So this is, say, a graphic that describes the bid and tender timeline. Not every bid is going to go through each one of these phases, but they are all phases that can happen along the bid life cycle. So it's good to know the difference when you see these different notices going up on the government portal, so you understand what it is that you're looking at. So the earliest stage that you might see is a prior information notice, or PIN. And these go out basically to warn or to make the service providers aware that an organisation is going to need something. And so they can be kind of quite, if you can consider them like an advanced notice that something is going to happen. And sometimes these can be an early engagement notice as well. And what those are doing, it's where the excuse me, the organisation is still thinking about how they might provide this service, and so they're reaching out to businesses that might provide that and asking them for input. And obviously, if you can be involved at that stage where you're giving your feedback on how the service can be provided, you're starting to build that relationship with the procurer, which is really important, and you can have some influence over how the service is developed, which could then put you in a better position to bid for it if you get things set up the way that you like to work. So it's a good way to get involved early. So another stage you'll see is they'll ask you to express an interest. So you can do that at the prior information stage, or you can do that when the SQ or the PQQ, which we're going to talk about in a bit, come out. And if you went and did the research piece on the portal, if you went and had a look there, searched for your work and looked at an opportunity, you will notice that there was a little box at the top that said register an interest. And that's exactly what an expression of interest is. You're just saying, yeah, this might be something I'm interested in. When you do that, you're not committing to anything. It's not legally binding. You're basically just saying, I would like to see more information about this opportunity. And at any time, if you get the documents and you feel it's not for you, you can just opt out, and then you don't get any more information about it. So you're not under any obligation once you press that button. It's always kind of better to express interest in things if you think you might be interested in them, rather than to not do that and miss out, obviously. So the next stage that you will come across is either the issuing of a selection questionnaire or a pre-qualification questionnaire. And this is true of whether it's going to be a direct contract award, or whether it's going to be a position on a framework, or whether it's going to be a position on a DPS. They all start in a similar way. And the selection questionnaire, or SQ, or the pre-qualification questionnaire, or PQQ, they're similar in as much as they are generally mostly made up of tick boxes. So you're just letting the procurer know that you meet the basic standards You know, so that will be all the legal side of things. They'll ask, make sure that you've got enough turnover to meet the contract requirements, that you've got the necessary insurances and accreditations and things like that. It will be kind of a tick box exercise to say that you've got those. Then you submit your SQ or PQQ, and you wait for the result. And if you were successful with that, you will then get the next stage in the process, which is the ITT, or invitation to tender. And the ITT is where things tend to get more detailed. Obviously, it depends on the bid, how much information they want, but the answers to an invitation to tender tend to be longer form. You can sometimes get written questions in an SQ or PQQ, but they will tend to be shorter. And the ITT is where you really get into the nitty-gritty. So commonly they'll ask you questions like, how are you going to mobilise? How are you going to make sure that your service delivery is seamless for them? They don't, there's no hiccups in those early phases. How are you going to deliver the service? Your social value offer, you know, and that kind of thing, your subcontractors, and how you're going to assure them that you're going to deliver this quality service. So there might be, if you deal with their customers, you may get customer service questions and things like that. And you'll also, here at this point, you'll need to provide the evidence to back up the things that you said in the PQQ if you haven't done that already. So you might have to supply copies of your certifications, copies of your insurances and things like that to go along, accounts as well. Things like that may all need to go in with the ITT. And so after that, there is the contract award. So if you have successfully won your bid, this is the point where you will get the positive result, and they will tell you, yes, you've won the contract, or you've won the place on the framework, or you've been awarded a place on the DPS. So that's good news. That's great if you've managed to do that. If you haven't done that, if you weren't the winning bid, or you weren't accepted, they will generally let you know. There will be some feedback. And if they haven't given you feedback, you can always kind of enter into a like a post bid clarification, so you can kind of just check where you went right, where you maybe could have improved things slightly, so that you know better for next time. You know, and even a bid that you don't win is always valuable because you gain information for the next time. So that's kind of the award process. Obviously, if you've won a place on a framework or a DPS, you may then have call-off contracts coming off as part of that. If with frameworks and DPSs, sometimes they'll directly award work and there's no further paperwork to go off. Sometimes they'll issue what they call a call-off contract, and any of the contractors that are on the framework can then put in a bid for that. So there may be you may have to skip back to the ITT phase and do specific tenders for specific pieces of work, but you may not. Again, it depends on the contract. So I'm just going to run through all the terminology. These are mostly acronyms. We try to come up with an exhaustive list of acronyms, but we don't want to overload you, just so that you know what you're looking at when you find these things. So we have an EOI, which is the expression of interest. So that's, again, just you on the website clicking the button to say, yep, I'm interested in this. You've got the SQ, or supplier questionnaire, and the PQQ, pre-qualification questionnaire, which are both those early stage tick box exercises. An RFI is a request for information. You'll occasionally see those. A procurer will put out an RFI asking for information on stuff. RFP is a request for proposals. So again, it's a slightly different way of doing things. If you see that, that's a different to the standard tender process. Your ITT, which is your invitation to tender, that's the big, chunky, wordy, often response. And a BAFO, which is a best and final offer. So this will sometimes come out where they will ask a number of suppliers to put together a best and final offer. So that's you kind of making the price as competitive as you can, the value as good as you can, before they finally agree to give you the award. Okay, so that's some of the terminology. It can be quite a terminology heavy industry. Please don't let that put you off. Hopefully this is useful for you to help you feel a bit more confident when you're looking at that information. If it isn't, if you've still got questions, as I say, you can ask them either on our Facebook group or in a LinkedIn group. They're both called Winning Contracts Bid for Success. or you can find us on Facebook and LinkedIn and Twitter. Also, as Bid for Success, please do fire any questions that you've got our way. We would love to answer them. We have a website, which is bidforsuccess.co.uk, and on that website you can find, we've got some free downloads such as our social value guide. We've got our blog where we quite often write specific content for small businesses, and we also have details about our training programs, which include a free 5-day challenge starting on the 14th of September, which is Get Bid Ready in 5 days. So if you're thinking about bidding, but you haven't taken the plunge yet, or you're still not feeling confident about it, or you want to put a plan in place to get you to where you are confident to bid, then that would be a great opportunity for you. And so it's completely free. So that's lovely. I hope the video has been useful, and we will see you all on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye.